What's the chance of getting a legendary from an ancient shard in Raid Shadow Legends? Well, it's 0.5%, right? But what's the chance of getting a legendary when we open 10 or 50 or when we reach the mercy system of 200? What's the chance we'll get a legendary as we make our way through those openings towards that mercy system? Is it going to happen? What's the likelihood of it? Well, I'm going to break that down today and also explain how you can guarantee yourself extra legendaries the next time there's a 2x legendary event active. Now, if you want to guarantee yourself legendaries without ever opening an ancient shard, then maybe you can use my QR code above my head, create a new account, and then simply come to this section here and type in Desert Queen. And then you'll get a Void Support legendary as you start a brand new account, and these 4 epic champions as you level up. But that means creating a new account, so that might not be for everybody, right? If you're not new to Raid Shadow Legends, then maybe you don't want to do that. So how do we guarantee our legendary happens and opens with our ancient shards during a 2x legendary event? Well, we're going to take advantage of the mercy system and also overall probability to make sure it happens. Now, a 2x legendary event will happen from time to time where you can guarantee you'll get 2 legendaries for the price of 1. When you open up an ancient shard and the legendary pulls, 2 of them will occur. Now, we just had a 2x legendary event, and I knew I was going to pull a legendary from it because I knew how the probability worked. So we guaranteed ourselves 2 legendaries, and you can do the same. Now, the first mistake most people make will be to open 200 ancient shards before the 2x event goes live. Because if you open 200 ancients, you'll activate the mercy system. As it says here, if you open 200 ancients without a legendary, every single ancient shard you open after that will have a 5% increased chance of getting a legendary. What this means is if you open 220 shards in total, you'll get your guaranteed legendary from ancient shards. And as you play from month to month, you'll get more and more ancient shards. In fact, my last video showcased how you can get up to 80 per month. So it won't take long before you get your guaranteed legendary. But do not open 200 before a 2x event is live, because the way probability works, you're probably going to get a legendary champion before you reach the mercy system. Here's a chart looking at the probability of you getting a legendary as you open more and more shards. After you open about 140 ancient shards, you're going to have about a 50% probability that you would have already gotten a legendary by that point. So if you open all of your ancients before a 2x event lands in the game, you're running a very, very high risk of pulling a legendary and not getting the double drop from the event. So my suggestion is hold on to your ancient shards until you have around 150 to 200 ready to go, unless you need them for a summon chase event or something like that. In that case, open around 100 and then make sure that you don't open any more than 100 until the 2x event goes live. At that point, you can start opening them, because the closer you get to opening 200 ancient shards, the more and more likely it is you'll get a legendary just anyway, without the mercy system, just because of the way probability works. In fact, by the time you've opened 200 shards, there's going to be a 63% probability that you would have already gotten a legendary at some point during that time. Whether it's on your first shard or your 200th, there would be a 63% chance it would happen. And then from 200 onwards, you only need another 20 to guarantee your shard. So my suggestion is open about 100 ancient shards on your account for different events, and then don't open any more until another 2x event comes around. Because otherwise, yeah, there's a very high chance you could pull a legendary without the event coming. And now I want to jump into my opening. I had 50 ancient shards ready to go, and I was aware of the fact that I had opened about 160 or so far. So I was ready to go in knowing that my ancient shards were definitely going to drop. And it actually ended up happening a bit sooner than I was expecting. Let's get into it. Just to get things rolling, let's go like this. I don't do this often. I like to do it one by one, but we are going to click through it to kind of get the mercy kicking in, right? That's what we want. That's what we want. That's what we're here for. 10 rares in a row. Okay. Well, all we can do is go again. Let's do it. We'll keep on going. We're going to rip through these as we get closer and closer to the end. A mercy system should start to kick in. Every single shard is going to have those increased odds. And you know what? That's really, really good. And you can still build this up when there isn't an event going live. Obviously, if there's a summoning event, then maybe it's worth waiting till then. But if not, then you can at least make some progress on building up this mercy system as you have ancient shards available, right? What do we have here? You know, we're not going to expect much from ancient shards. At the end of the day, it's a lot of rares that aren't necessarily going to be so useful. Some will be, some won't be. Tree fella, orcs. And overall, we're going to fill in the cracks here and there for my faction wars normal. Yes, I'm very far behind when it comes to faction wars, but I'm not too bothered. In fact, speaking of high elves, I have like no good high elves, so that's nice to see that. All right, we're going to go through this. See exactly what we can do. I think one of the greatest things is ancient shards as something that you can always build up over time. You know, sacred's a little bit more difficult. Whoa, what is this demon spawn? Let's say I had a feeling just by the look of this demon spawn that this was going to be a good one. Some pretty decent ratings. Petrifier. That's very funny. Funny name. I'm curious. Is it increased ally accuracy? I'm going to assume she does. Interestingly, in Demon Lord. Wow. Okay. 2 hits per attack. Attacks all enemies 2 times. Attacks 3 times at random. I'm going to guess that is going to be very, very good for Fire Knight. Fire Knight's Castle. Yeah. Interesting. Multi-attack champions are always very good. So that's quite exciting. So on we go. Yeah, you could always just get more and more ancient charge over time. So if you feel like, I just can't get any legendaries. I can't get any sacreds. Don't worry. Just farm ancients every month. Every few months, you're going to have enough ancients to basically hit that mercy system. And then at that point, you know that you're going to get one very soon. And it's guaranteed. You know, you can't go wrong with guaranteed stuff, really. And we pull a Avenger. More high elves. Yes, great. We actually do need high elves. Attacks at random 2 times. Another multi-attack, and we've got increasing ally attack and faction crypts. Okay, potentially an option there. I need high elves badly. So. And we have a Gnarlhorn. Don't need skinwalkers. Not bothered about that whatsoever. We shall move on. And I think we've seen an Ogre and Jailer before. We keep on going. We've got 29 remaining. So, yeah, we're getting pretty close to that mercy system kicking in now. Now, that doesn't mean we're guaranteed to get one yet, of course. As I showcased earlier on in the video, we won't be guaranteed until much later on. Is that the same? We just got another Avenger? Oh, okay. Interesting. That's funny. And double up, put her in the Empower thing. I've had so many Marauders now at this point. It's crazy. All right. Here we keep on going. See what we get next. And we have a Valerie, a Bannerlords. Okay, my Bannerlords team is definitely needing some work as well. I'll probably be able to fit these champs in somewhere. And we have a Spymaster, another Bannerlord. Apparently a good campaign farmer. Ah, okay. Cloak and Dagger places a counter-attack buff on this champion. Interesting. All right, well, we'll keep it on, keep it on. Let's keep it going. Ah, first epic of the day. Can you believe it? Ender Moonbeam, a Sylvan Watchers. Good for faction wars. Great. Gotta love it. Attacks on enemy has a 30% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff. Okay. Attacks 3 times at random. Ooh, okay. Attacks all enemies, 75% chance of placing Leech. And the passive increases this champion's speed by 2 for each enemy under a Leech debuff. Oh, so you can build this character into speed, potentially. No aura or anything like that, but that's fine. Like I say, I'm at the point I need to try and get some decent champions for different factions, so this is fine. Sacred Order, probably the only faction in the game that I've got a really strong team because of all the free legendaries they've given out. Another Sacred Order, not too bothered about that. We shall keep on going then. What else do we have? Another epic. Okay. Mausoleum Mage. Oh, brilliant. Yes, Mausoleum Mage is actually really, really good. Awesome stuff. Very good support. Definitely going to be able to do Undead Hordes faction crypt now. Winter Purging. Removes all debuffs from all allies, then heals all allies by 10% of this champion's max HP. Heals each ally by a further 10% if 1 or more debuffs are removed from that ally. And fills each ally's turn meter by 50% if 2 or more debuffs are removed. Okay, so really good debuffer. Awesome stuff. Great work. I'm very happy with that. I've been wanting to get Mausoleum Mage. Here it is. Here it is. We got it. And we got the extra as well. Let's go. This is what we were waiting for. Harima, Shadowkin. Wow, a really good legendary. And we got Kyoko as well. Two amazing Shadowkin legendaries. No way. You know, they're kind of like matching up there. That's funny. Wow. Okay. Awesome. Like I said, it's going to kick in and you're going to get your guaranteed legendary. So build up that chance until you have an opportunity like this, right? The double legendary event. And then make sure you pounce. Now that I have basically got my legendary, I can now start to write down like how many I've opened. So I know when the next mercy system kicks in. So let's have a look. We've got a defense legendary with increases all ally defense in battles by 30%. A1 attacks one enemy, will place 3 hits if the target is under 3 or more debuffs. Each hit has a 40% chance of placing a 25% weakened debuff for 2 turns. Okay. Attacks all enemies. Wow. Has an 80% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff. After attacking, has an 80% chance of placing a HP burn. Ooh. Could this be a good spider champ? Why spider? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Places a 50% ally protection buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Also places a block damage buff on this champion for 3 turns, then grants an extra turn. Okay. And then the passive, every time this champion is hit with a critical hit, heals all allies by 15% of their max HP, then places a 60% increased defense buff. That seems pretty good for Arena, because you're always going to get crit hit in Arena, right? Surely. Woo. Okay, and then we got Harima. This one is rated 1,000 ratings on a legendary. You know they're good. Wow, awesome stuff. Attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff. There's a 25% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff. That sounds very similar. It's another defense champ. They are very similar. Attacks one enemy 3 turns. Each hit decreases the target's defense by 5%. Each hit also increases this champion's defense. Instantly activates the Celestial Ore skill if the skill kills an enemy. And that is the A3. Attacks all enemies. Places a Provoke debuff. This debuff cannot be blocked or resisted if the target champion is from the Demon Spawn faction. Okay, interesting. And the Ascension level 3 passive. Ignore enemy defense effects are decreased by 50%. Ooh, champions from the Demon Spawn faction cannot inflict critical hits on this champion. This champion cannot land weak hits on champions from the Demon Spawn champion. Interesting. And then an aura, increased ally resistance in arena battles. Not sure if that's going to come in handy, but the other skills really, really good. Well, there we go. We did it. And like I said, you can do this too. This is not like a chance thing. This is the one time you can guarantee yourself a legendary without really doing much. You just play the game and over time it will happen. Pretty awesome. I just realized I forgot to record an outro for this video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more and I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio.